Editor of the Denver Post, and Tuna Amobi is a senior media and entertainment analyst for Standard & Poor's Equity Research Services, or I should say S&P. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks so much for being here. Tuna, let me start with you. Connell talked briefly in that piece about the rivalry, but I imagine part of what makes this one such a dynamic one is the characters behind these two companies. Tell me about them.
Sure, Alexis. I think the characters obviously is a big part of the dynamics here. But I think as you look at the two companies in question, I think they couldn't really be more different in terms of contrast. Whether on a subscriber growth basis or a competitive strategy or any number of other criteria that we look at companies here. We have a buy recommendation on DirecTV and a strong sell on Dish Network, precisely for some of the reasons that were alluded to. You just saw the numbers. Dish Network this morning reporting 102,000 subscriber losses for the fourth quarter, accelerating for the last 3 quarters, consecutive losses. In contrast, DirecTV added 860,000 subscribers for the year, 300,000 for the fourth quarter alone, which was the best in the last 3 years in this environment. So that suggests to us that DirecTV is gaining share from cable operators while Dish Network is losing. If you look at other criteria such as balance sheet and liquidity, DirecTV has about $2 billion in cash. Obviously, cash is king in this kind of market. EchoStar is facing possibly high investments. Dish Network, on its 700 megahertz spectrum that it just acquired. And there's a whole lot of other, overhangs, for Dish, such as the looming litigation against TiVo, which is going on in Court of Appeals as we speak here. So overall, I think that, the street is just getting around to recognizing that these two companies, which have up till now been valued pretty closely, I think there seems to be a divergence in terms of the business model.
All right, so Stephen, it's interesting. There's been a great deal of speculation for years that perhaps these two companies would merge, but they're definitely trying to send, I wouldn't say different signals, but they're going in quasi-different directions. DirecTV, greater international operations, a Dish doing the Sling. All right, well, Stephen and Tuna, gentlemen, thank you very much for talking about it. I'm sure we'll be talking about this rivalry for years to come. All right, thanks so much, guys. Coming up next, of course, we're going to continue.